So as many of us get to explore and see how we like this whole working remotely time, there's a lot of us that actually have to wake up every morning and physically go to the office because these guys, these ladies are deemed to be essential personnel. So what are some things that we should keep in mind while we're at the office? Well, we're gonna talk about that today. Before we get started, if this is your first time with us, I'm Terry and this is Good Guy Inc. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, scientist, or a PhD graduate. I'm just a regular dude talking about regular things in hopes of making us all better people. Just cold hard facts. I'm not spitting any agendas. I'm not gonna try and be biased about anything. I'm gonna come at you real talk. So if this sounds like something you may be interested in, go downstairs, hit that big red subscribe button, hit that bell icon because this video is gonna be a part of a series of videos, my pandemic etiquette playlist. So make sure you get notified when I drop those videos. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Marvin Gaye, what's going on? People, I can't sing, so I won't do that again. Today, this video is for the men and women that are deemed essential personnel that have to wake up every morning and go to the office. What are some of the pandemic etiquette rules that we need to keep in mind while still trying to pay the bills at the same time? Well, it just so happens that I put together a list for you to bring you guys as much information as I can to help you get through each day the best way you can, and we can get through this virus taking it one day at a time. And this list is in no particular order like my other videos, and every item on this list is just as equally as important as the one before it or the one after it. So, like the other two videos, we'll just start with number one. Number one, and we've heard this one quite a bit already before, but minimize face-to-face meetings. Now that we are in this technology-driven world, there are several different avenues that you can use when you have to have a meeting with somebody. You have Cisco Jabber, you have Skype, you have Zoom, and you have Microsoft Teams, and I'm sure there are several other ones out there because there always are. You can even just shoot someone an email or just physically call them. I know a lot of us like to have face-to-face meetings. If it's something that we feel is urgent, we like to go directly to the person and speak to them and then go back to our desk and follow that up with an email, but that is no longer recommended. So if it isn't something that is urgent, if it's not something that is pressing, send an email, try to use Microsoft Teams or one of these other avenues, and just minimize these face-to-face meetings as much as you can. Number two, minimize FaceTime through actual meetings. Now, some items are urgent and some items actually require a physical meeting to be taking place. So in these instances where a physical meeting has to be done, you want to minimize the time of the meeting as much as possible, and you want to limit the people that are included in that meeting to just the bare minimum necessary people that have to be in that room. And you might want to second guess sending an invite to the guy that asks 20 million questions in a meeting. Number three, now we all love the pantry, we love the break room or the water cooler, whatever it's called in your establishment. We love this, we love our break time. So much so that it seems like many people are on a break more than they are doing any actual productive work. So we all love our break time, let's not deny it, but let's grab our coffee, our tea, and whatever we're gonna snack on, take back to our desk and have our break at our desk. Doing so will minimize exposure from yourself and your colleagues, help maintain these precautions that a lot of establishments and organizations are putting in place to minimize exposure of its employees. So minimize your break room activity. I'm not telling you to not take a break, but just try to take your break at your desk. Number four, avoid public transportation. If you can, that is. I mean, if you have the ability to drive yourself to work, whether it's a car, truck, bicycle, plane, train, boat, you know, the normal ways of commuting. But if you can't avoid public transportation, try to do your morning commute during the non-peak hours where everyone else is trying to rush to get to work as well. And if you can't do that either, well, strap on your mask and gloves, bring extra hand sanitizer, and just hold your breath. Don't literally hold your breath though. That's just a figure of speech. I was joking. Gonna pass out. Number five, avoid the handshake. Now, in one of my earlier videos in this playlist, I discussed the alternatives that we could do when we're gonna greet somebody. But for the current situations that we are in now, in light of COVID-19 virus, we want to minimize as much interaction with other people, physical contact with other people as possible. So we want to try other avenues when it comes to greeting people. Now, if it's one of your colleagues, someone that you can be a little bit more informal with, you can always do the little, the little elbow bump. But in a more professional capacity, you would not want to do that. So in that situation, just look them dead in the eye, smile, and tell them how happy you are to meet them that day. You could also put your hand over your chest and do a little slight nod. There are different ways that we can greet people in a more professional and a more informal capacity. But for the situation that we're currently in right now, we want to avoid the handshake. Number six, use your knuckles when you're hitting the elevator buttons. Now, a lot of people are using their elbows to push the buttons on the elevator, but then again, a lot of people are using their elbows to greet people. So when you use your elbow to push the buttons on the elevator, and then you turn around and use your elbow to greet one of your buddies, If the virus is on that button, you could be transferring the virus to your buddy. So you want to minimize as much of you as you can. Use your knuckles, pushing the elevator buttons. If you have a pen, if you have a special device that will push the buttons, use that as well. You could also refrain from doing the elbow bump with your buddies as well. I know we talked about it in number 5, but you know, it is what it is. Just wrap your hands together and give the elevator buttons a good old knuckle sandwich. I mean, like, don't punch it or anything, but just like press it. Number 7, I swear each one of these lists, there's something on here that I can't believe I'm having to talk about. But number 7 is wash your hands. And I don't mean turn the water on, wet your hands, turn the water off, and then dry them. That doesn't do anything. Turn the water on, wash your hands with soap and water. Wash your hands at least 20 seconds. Washing your hands for 20 seconds allows the soap to be able to kill the germs and bacteria that may be on your hand. If you just do a quick once over on your hands, you're not giving the soap enough time to really do its job and kill the germs or bacteria that are on your hands. So you might as well not be washing them. So take your time and wash your hands properly. Wash your hands when you go to the bathroom, wash your hands before you eat, wash your hands when you go outside. Just make sure you wash your hands. Again, this is like elementary school stuff. We all learned about this in grade school. Number 8, if given the choice, try to work remotely. Now, a lot of people do not have a choice in whether they're essential or non-essential personnel, if they can work remotely or if they have to go work in the office. A lot of people don't have the luxury. A lot of people have to go in through this crisis and physically go report to work. But if you're given the opportunity, do your best to try and stay home. Now, there are a lot of factors and variables that kind of play into if you can actually do your job at home. But if you're able to actually do your job to its full capacity while you are at home, then try and take that opportunity to work from home and stay home unless absolutely necessary for you to go out. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything that may not have made this list that you think should have made the list, go down in the comment section below. Let me hear from you. Let me know some things that you think we could do to kind of make it more safer for ourselves and other people while we go work in the office. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And as I've said in these other videos, make sure you go downstairs, hit that big red subscribe button. And until the next videos, ladies and gentlemen, take care of each other.